Okay, in this lesson we're going to learn how to use the batch qualification tool in the toolbox. So again, we just click on Toolbox, Batch, Upload. Now in this case, what we want to do, the first thing is to create a job. In our description, we're just going to put this as demo. Entering the addresses is really simple. Basically, what we're going to do is just take a spreadsheet as we might get from a customer, and we're just going to take the address, city, state, and zip code. Copy. We're going to paste it just like that. Doesn't have to be formatted. Basically, you can just do it just like you would from Excel. Just paste it into this, and we're going to press submit. Okay, so now we have our data. Scroll down here. Key thing here is now we have to turn it on for processing. Turn the queue on. So we'd go down here, click on the button, and click save. Click on save. Now we see the status says pending. So what's going to happen here in the background is the system has a process where it's constantly monitoring and checking, and it will run a process in the background to do a batch qualification. So it really saves a ton of time off having to manually enter these in. Periodically you need to press refresh just to get an update, and you could actually click back on home and come back in the future, and you would be able to just come back and see the status of the job. But if I just wanted to sit here and click on refresh, I can see that the system is now running. There's 121 total addresses. Currently there's 15 complete, and we've got 2 errors. I'm going to pause for a moment while this completes. By the way, I wanted to just also let you know, as it has errors, you could click in on the system, and you could actually search for the errors. That was as I was saying. I clicked on the wrong one. If we, as it's running, which it's almost done, but we could click on edit, and this is the details of what it's completed. So if I click on the search data, I can see all the individual information about the site. This is helpful because it's figuring out who the telco is with all these sites, and it's validating the address, etc. Now if I wanted to search for errors, I could click on this, and we see these are funny looking addresses. Now this one here obviously is just something really wrong with it. So I'm actually going to just delete this one, because I could go back and clean these addresses up. Normally it's probably going to be something related to having too much information in there like the suites. What I do is just correct that, and I would put it back into a pending status. As you can see, putting that, I actually should first put it pending, and then make my change pending, come back. You don't always have to take the suites out. I use this geocoding techniques, so most of the time I'll actually figure it out. Okay. But sometimes it doesn't, so you gotta help it along. Pending, good. Okay. I'm gonna go do a refresh. And we see that it completed while we were doing the edits on the other records. And there's now 6 errors total on it. Now, since we went in and cleaned it up, we could now turn it on for processing again. And it will go back and reprocess those records that we fixed. And now we see that there's 120 completed. We had 1 error, and we could go back in there and fix the remaining one. But what I'm going to do is now just show you how you can not only go in and edit it, but you can export the data. And I'm going to show you what that data looks like. So it downloaded this into Excel, and it gives us the data. We have the data that we searched for, and then we have the return street address, city, state, zip, which I would kind of think of this as normalizing it. So it's taken, you know, the suite business out of it, but it's creating a solid address because it actually figured out the address by geocoding it. Now, we can see that we now know who the telcos are and the telco parent, Silicode, Exchange, LATA, etc., the CO address, CO distance, and a list of carriers that fall into that footprint. One of the new features that we're working on is that we will be including lit building. We'll automatically look for lit buildings and tell which carriers have lit buildings either on net or near net to the address. But right now, it's just giving you a list of carriers in the area. But the big time saving here is when you have a list of sites and you need to go out and do research, it does all the work for you. Saves a ton of time. Amazing. And you'd send that off to your customer, and keep in mind that this was done in minutes. I could do this entire list in about 5 minutes, and it just saves a ton of time. This feature is available to our premium subscribers, which is well worth the money for anybody who does lists of addresses. There you go. Hope you enjoyed this video.